What is up guys? In this video, you will see what is the top 10 best ground units in update 13. Every units in this video are all obtainable and not from trading. I do want to know what you guys think is the top 10 best ground units in update 13. Remember to subscribe and like, and with that being said, in no particular order, the first best ground unit is Luffy Gear 4. Luffy is one of the newest units added in this update 13, and Luffy is one of the best physical ground unit in this update. Luffy Gear 4 stats on max upgrade and max level is 205,719 with his SPA at 6.4 seconds, making his DPS at 32,143.59, which is incredibly strong. Especially you can place 4 of Luffy Gear 4. Luffy Gear 4 at later upgrades, you will be able to hit both ground and air enemies, which is insanely good. Although, it's no longer a multi-hit at last ability, so he won't do as well against shield enemies. Luffy Gear 4 is incredibly easy to evolve, as you just have to continuously defeat the puppet portal, which are easy to defeat even if you are soloing the portal. The best trait you can have on Luffy Gear 4 is Divine, as he has 4 placements. Although, if you are going to be using him for Infinity Castle, then the best trait you can have on him is Unique. Luffy Gear 4 damage type is physical. Okay, next unit is Meliodas. Meliodas is the best boss killer, especially the best ground unit for Infinity Castle and raids in this update 13. Meliodas assault stats on max level and max upgrade is 206,171.06 damage with his SPA at 9 seconds, making his DPS at 22,907.9. You also have a 50% crit, which there will be at times. His damage will crit, and having the Nail Relic on Meliodas will be the best relic to equip on him. Evolving Meliodas Assault is by defeating the Fabled Kingdom 10 Commandments legend stages, which are difficult to do if you're a beginner, so do get players to help you to defeat them. You can place 3 Meliodas Assault, and Meliodas costs 84,800 yen to max upgrade. His damage type is physical and dark, and the best trait you can have on him is Unique or Reaper. Alright, next unit is Pride the One. Escanor is the best ground unit in this update 13 with his insanely strong late game stats, with Escanor having one of the biggest full AoE circle and having such a low SPA cooldown and an overpowered damage per second. Pride the One stats on max upgrade and max level is 57,525.41 damage, following his SPA at 6.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 8,850. But with Sunshine passive max, his new damage per second is 19,991. Oh my goodness. At later upgrades, he will become a hybrid unit, making him attack both ground and air enemies. I suggest placing Pride the One as soon as possible, as he buffs himself permanently from placement for 15 waves. The best trait you can have on Escanor is Unique, and alternative traits you can have on him is Double Snipers, Divine. Pride the One's damage type are physical and fire. I only recommend to bring Pride the One in waves that are 20 or longer, but he is still going to be useful in the Infinity Castle, as he is a full AoE with such a big range, bro. Okay, next unit is Itachi Susanoo. Itachi is still one of the best burning unit in this update 13, especially when paired with Mangekyo Eye Relic. Itachi will do an insane amount of damage. Sheesh. Itachi's Susanoo stats on max upgrade and max level is 63,784 damage, with Itachi's burning doing 63,784 damage, along with his SPA at 6.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 19,625 with burn. Itachi have 2 power types, magic and fire, and Itachi will do 2 times the damage against ice opponents. Having the Mangekyo Eye Relic is also essential to have for Itachi Susanoo. An alternative unit you can go for is Endeavor Hellflame. Endeavor is one of the difficult units you can evolve, since you have to continuously defeat the My Hero Academia legend stages, which are quite difficult to do, so I recommend playing with friends to make the grind easier. Endeavor Hellflame stats on max level and max upgrade is 151,867 damage, with his burning doing 75,848 damage, along with his SPA at 10 seconds, making his DPS at 22,781 with burning. Oh my goodness. Endeavor Hellflame will do 2 times the damage against ice enemies. Sheesh. Alright, next unit is Shigaraki, Symbol of Fear. Shigaraki is one of the best ground and support units in this update 13. Shigaruko's symbol of fear stats at max level and max upgrade is 74,552 damage with his SPA at 7.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 9,940.39, which is insanely strong for a support unit. And do not forget that he does DK damage, which I will be explaining now. Shigaruko does DK damage over 3 ticks and up to 18 ticks at max upgrade, which DK stops regeneration enemies, and his DK damage doing 120% true damage at later upgrades. DK will be good against magic resistance enemies as he is a magic unit. Shigaraki is one of the hardest units to evolve as you have to continuously defeat the My Hero Academia Legend stages in update 12. Shigaraki is one of the hardest units to evolve as you have to continuously defeat the My Hero Academia Legend stages in this update 13, which are difficult to do, especially if you're playing them solo. Shigaraki is meta for leaderboard runs, especially with his full AoE DK, and it will also deal true damage, which is insanely strong. Okay, next unit is Law Room. Law is one of the new units added in this update 13, and he is one of the best ground and support unit in this update. Law Room stats on max upgrade and max level is 150,141 damage with his SPA at 5.9 seconds, making his damage per second at 25,447.62, which is incredibly strong for a support unit as he has an ability called Shamble, where when activated, it teleports enemies back half of Law Room's range. So if Law Room has 10 range, that means Shambles will teleport enemies half of his range. The Shamble ability affects air, ground enemies, and bosses, which is insanely good. Law Room is incredibly easy to evolve as you just have to continuously defeat the puppet portal, which are easy to defeat even if you are soloing the portal. The best trait you can have on Law Room is unique as he has 3 placement, and alternative traits you can have on him is sniper or divine, so he will be able to teleport back more enemies with his huge range. Law Room damage type is magic and lightning. Alright, next unit is Tengen, God of Flashiness. Tengen is one of the best ground units in update 13, especially at later upgrades. He will be able to hit both ground and air enemies, which is insanely overpowered. Tengen, God of Flashiness stats on max level and max upgrade is 224,526 damage with his SPA at 11 seconds, making his DPS around 20,411.45, which is insanely strong, especially with his full AoE, although his range is incredibly bad. To evolve Tengo's score to Tengen, God of Flashiness is by defeating the Entertainment District raid countless of times. I recommend buying the relics at the raid shop to defeat the Entertainment District raid easier. Tengen, God of Flashiness at later upgrades, he will become a hybrid unit, making him attack both air and ground enemies, as well as having the nail relic equipped on Tengen, God of Flashiness will be the best relic to have equipped on him. Yes. Okay, next unit is Flamingo Awakened. Flamingo Awakened is one of the newest units added in this update 13, and he is the best magic ground unit with the highest damage per second. Flamingo Awakened stats on max upgrade and max level is 336,140 damage with his SPA at 7.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 44,818.66, which is incredibly overpowered. Despite of him not being able to hit air enemies, this Flamingo Awakened is extremely overpowered for a ground unit. How to get Flamingo Awakened is by defeating the new Puppet Island Birdcage, the Puppet Master, where the host will be guaranteed to get the unit, where the other players will have a slight chance. To get the secret portal is by defeating the normal Puppet portal, which can be obtained through the Puppet Island Infinite mode. It has been a long time since we actually got ourselves an insanely overpowered secret unit, so I definitely recommend getting Flamingo as he is insanely good for a ground unit in this update 13. Alright, next unit is Gyutaro Moon. Gyutaro is one of the best ground units in this update 13. Gyutaro Moon stats on max level and max upgrade is 126,786 damage with his SPA at 8 seconds, making his damage per second at 15,848.25. This does not even include the crit damage he does against bleeding enemies. At later upgrades, he will become a multi-hit unit, making him do well against shield enemies, as well as having the Lost Vein relic equipped on Gyutaro Moon will make him insanely strong, and pairing him with a bleeding unit, he will turn into an overpowered unit. Yes, especially when pairing Gyutaro Moon with Daki Obi is going to be the best combo unit. Daki Obi stats on max level and max upgrade is 86,978.41 damage, with her bleeding doing 34,791.37 damage with a 8 seconds SPA, making her damage per second at 15,221.22. Including the bleeding, by the way. Bleeding units are insanely strong against regen enemies, as the enemies won't be able to regen while bleeding. You can definitely use Daki Obi as a support when you have Gyutaro Moon in your team. Daki Obi at later upgrade is a multi-hit, which makes her good against shield enemies. Finally, the last unit is Aizen. Aizen is one of the best magic units in this update 13, especially Aizen will be able to hit both air and ground enemies at later upgrades. Oh my goodness. Aizen is one of the hardest units to evolve because of how his evolution works, as it will require you kills and worthy souls. Aizen is a meta magic ground unit for story mode acts, infinite modes, infinity castle, and leaderboard runs. Aizen final stats on max upgrade and max level is 249,567 damage with his SPA at 15 seconds, making his damage per second at 16,637.8. If you're ever doing a leaderboard runs, then I definitely recommend trying to get unique traits, since he is one of the best units to have unique on when going for leaderboard runs. Like, he's literally meta for leaderboard runs, bro. Finally, Aizen Final also has a manual ability called Kanzen Seimin, which causes the opponents to be pushed back and shielding your base. Let's go. So that was everything for this video on the top 10 best ground units in update 13. I hope this video helped you in some sort of way. Remember to subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.